Hello, everyone, and welcome to this special installment of our CapeSpace Connection series. I'm your host, Haley Cote, Community Manager for CapeSpace Mashpee, and today I am thrilled to have joining me our featured community innovator this month, Jess Georges. Jess, how are you?
Hey, everybody. I'm great, thanks.
I know it's been forever since we last seen each other.
I know, I miss Cape Space, but we'll get back eventually.
I know, we're excited to have you back, hopefully soon.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
I got to drop some jugs off in Hyannis, so
Oh, nice. Yeah. So, which that leads me to, so let's just jump right in and start talking about your business, which is called Green Road Refill.
Mhm.
And I'll have you start out, kind of give me the origin story, because it's a really cool
Sure.
story how you got started and kind of what you
Yeah.
guys are all about.
Great. So yes, Green Road Refill was launched in May of 2018. It really came out of my own anxiety over the future of our planet, of our oceans. Living here on Cape Cod, I'm sure all of you have walked the beach and encountered plastic waste. Not only whether it's an actual an item you can recognize like a water bottle or an old beach toy, but really the microplastics is a big issue. So having these concerns, also being a mom of two and just wanting to hand over a planet that is inhabitable. I want my kids to be able to swim in the ocean. And also I want to lead by example and show them, that we can, one person can kind of make a difference. So that's where Green Road Refill came into play, trying to give my community, my customers, an opportunity to reduce their own plastic footprint. So basically it means I'm a retailer, but I bring all the best zero waste, low waste goods together, and the major focus is on the refill. So you think, when you go to the grocery store, you buy, whether it's glass cleaner or dish soap, shampoo, laundry detergent. Not only are you buying the product, but you're buying the container. And we have this idea that I'll just recycle it. I'll just, and we think we're doing a great job. And unfortunately, if you do any research in the current recycling industry right now, it's not doing so well. It's not this idea of sustainability and, oh, we'll just create something new out of it. It creates a lot of problems, whether it's just a falsehood of what's actually being recycled to the actual process of recycling. So the idea that I'm trying to provide is that reducing that plastic rather than just bringing more into your life. So on the Green Road, my first 2 years in business, so I'm going into my fourth. My first 2 years, I had Betty Bus, which some of you might be familiar with. I used to come to CapeSpace once a month with Betty, and we'd hang out in the parking lot for a couple hours. And that was a lot of fun. But with the pandemic and social distancing and also some mechanical issues we were having, I switched over to Sally's Side Shed. So basically same concept, just don't have the motor to stress me out about. So we refill over 40 plant-based products. You can bring in your own bottle from home. We also sell bottles, and we have a donated free bottle basket. So it's a great way for people to kind of try these new earth-friendly products. That's another thing that was really important to me was ingredients. If you read the back of your bottle, there's a lot of things going down our drains and onto our bodies that shouldn't be. So ingredients are a major focus of the Green Road as well. And trying to keep things positive. It's really easy to get dragged down into the negativity or into the hopelessness of what's happening in our environment, in our oceans. So trying to keep enough uplifted spirits so that you can't have control over everything, but you can have control over your own consumer purchases and consciousness. So that's what I'm trying to provide.
Right. Yeah, that's awesome. And you just started to touch on it, Jess, but how has the pandemic impacted your business? I'm really curious to know, about the whole green living movement and people who are trying to live sustainably. Just kind of your thoughts on that bigger picture as
Yeah,
well.
there's two things going on. It can get there's a really heavy thing going on, and that is there is more single use. You see it with PPE mostly. So I mean, now, you know, I follow a lot of environmentalists that are cleaning up the ocean, and it's just amazing the amount of PPE that's found in the ocean, whether it's masks or, you know, guards, suits, like everything. And, you know, people, you have this image of people just throwing things into the ocean. That's not how it happens. It happens through, you know, sewers and riverways. And so, you know, that can be, you know, pretty tragic. However, on the other hand, there's a whole new kind of wave of consciousness coming and opportunities because of that consciousness. So people are innovating, and also the whole retail, or, you know, basically the market has kind of been opened up to this whole idea, and that is good. You know, getting rid of single-use plastic is a step forward.
Right. Absolutely. And I think, and you were kind of touching on this before too, like the concept of recycling. And I think this is something I've just recently been kind of educating myself about. Like when people think, like you said, when they're recycling something, but where is it actually going? And, you know, I don't know if you could speak to that maybe a little bit and just give a quick little like educational session about that.
Well, it really comes down to, you know, every town is different on the Cape. The Mass DEP website is a great resource. They have everything from the Recyclepedia, which actually you can type in caps to my milk jug, or this weird netty thing, and it'll tell you if it can be recycled and where. So it's really about little pieces of education that you can find through your own dump or through the actual Mass DEP website. There are workshops being held through the Mass DEP with everything from, you know, trying to create more of a swap shop type at your dump to what is actually recyclable. At my personal dump, we have this whole campaign going, you gotta keep it separated, because so many people do wish recycling, and things, you know, we think because it looks like plastic and it's got the little symbol, which can be very confusing. People think that if it has the symbol, I can recycle it. No, it's not the case. It basically means that it's made out of plastic, and it tells you the type of plastic. Doesn't mean that it's going to be recycled. So things can get stuck in sorting machines and all different types of stuff. So really educating yourself on what is recyclable at this time. And like I said, the Recyclepedia is a great resource on that Mass DEP website. But you know, if we want to go down the spiral, you know, recycling plastics, we used to send our recycling to China. They're no longer you know, taking our recyclables. And it goes all the way into the dark zone of child labor. So it, you know, it really is about reduction rather than recycling. You know, when you think about reduce, reuse, recycle, recycle is the last of the R's, right? And in fact, I would argue that there's a couple R's even before those is the refuse, the reduce, reuse. You know, there are many R's, and really it's the recycle that is the last ditch effort.
Right. And you know, Jess, I think for a lot of people, myself even included, like it can seem daunting to make those changes to live a more sustainable, green kind of life. And I think especially in light of Earth Day coming up on April 22nd, I wanted to kind of pose to you, what's something easy people can do that could really make an impact, a positive impact on the environment and help restore our Earth, as the theme.
Sure. I knew you were going to ask this question. So this is one of my hardest, because there are so many little things. And that's what I'm asking my customers to do, is like, pick just a little thing here and there. And then when that becomes easy, choose the next thing. So to answer your question, the number one thing you can do, if you're doing it already, is stop buying bottled water. Get a canister, a reusable bottle. That's one of the great things. Care for the Cape and Islands, a couple other organizations are working together to get refilling stations in public places. There's a bit of a myth going on about water quality. We're so fortunate to be on the Cape. Our water is good drinking water. You can buy a Brita, whatever makes you feel safe, but in comparison to other places in our nation, the Cape has got really great drinking water. So no more bottled water. And there's a wonderful documentary called Tapped if you're interested on the bottled water industry. It's just a lot of negative stuff going on. But I also, on my website, I have a whole page devoted to small ways you can reduce your plastic waste. I also have just being green during the pandemic and things you can do. I think we're all used to the reusable bags by now. Those are back. You can bring your reusable bags into grocery stores. That was tragic when that stopped. I was like, no. So another like quick thing you could do, not only bring your reusable bag to the grocery store, but maybe invest in some reusable produce bags. We always bring our reusable bag, but then we take our vegetables, whether it's tomatoes or lettuces, and we put them in those little plastic bags that roll out. Right. Some stores like Trader Joe's, they're getting compostables, which are great. That's another great thing you could do is start composting. You could just do a side of the sink composter if you have the space in your backyard. Food waste is another huge issue going on, and reducing your own personal food waste would do a really great thing for our earth.
That's awesome. Those are all really, like you said, easy, approachable.
Yeah, I've got like 30 things from stop using balloons to bringing your own cutlery pouches on my website at greenroadrefill.com.
That's awesome. And Jess, I guess looking ahead to the future, what's next for Green Road Refill, and maybe also your thoughts on just the future of green living and sustainable living?
I think it's the way, I think people are really starting to open their eyes, and I'm really encouraged, and I feel grateful that I can provide this, resource for people to, find a one-stop shop for those green needs in your home. It is, an individual personal responsibility, and luckily administration wise, we're getting on that train again with the Paris Climate Accord and many other things, the EPA. So I'm super excited about who's at the head of the EPA right now. And so that is really encouraging. As far as the Green Road goes, we are starting to solidify our summer schedule. So we'll be at several farmers markets, still doing pop-ups until that season hits in June. So I'm always so grateful for all of the small businesses that invite me in. Robin has been a huge supporter of mine. And then, but I'm actually, I'm looking into having a brick and mortar by this time next year.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
We talked about that before, actually.
Yeah. So all these little, wheels and things are percolating into that direction. I always want to keep the mobile aspect going, so I'll still keep my farmers markets and such. But I am looking for somewhere to call home, and that's the one challenge, is you always have these people. We're asking people not only to switch over to these green products and do this system, but we're asking people to change their habits, and it's hard. I'm not going to pretend like it's effortless. No, it takes effort. But like I said, I'm encouraged because, going into my fourth business, the base of the refillers is really growing. And people are starting to realize, whether it's, the amount of recycling they're bringing to the dump, or just the whole idea is like, why do we need another bottle with our product when we can have another system? Exactly. So hopefully, it's the $1 million question I always get: where's your store? Where's your store? And I'm like, you're here right now in it. And it's moving. So those things have been challenging, and it's a bit hard on the body, lugging soap and jugs. So so I'm looking forward to exploring those options. But I feel, like I said, that things are only going to get greener. I really feel we're finally kind of like sometimes things need to get really ugly before people start to wake up. And I feel we're at that, we're opening our eyes now.
Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful. All great and exciting things.
Yeah.
Just before I let you go, is there anything else you'd like to mention? Or I know you said your website is greenroadrefill.com, right?
Yep. And so on that, if you want to subscribe, I put out a newsletter. Like I said, is try to stay as positive possible, but I also try to give people ways they can take action, whether it's on like a policy level. There's a huge piece of legislation that's went in front of Congress, and now it's in committee, called the Break Free from Plastic Pollution Act. So things like calling your senators and your representation to support that. So if you want to subscribe to the newsletter, you get information like that. You also get my monthly calendar, which has my schedule, obviously, and other little tips and tricks and news. And then yeah, that's about it. Look for me in Orleans, and I'm going to be in Yarmouth, Brewster, all the different farmers markets. Still solidifying, but we're hoping to add a couple new ones to the schedule.
Good summer ahead.
Yeah, and hopefully, it'll be, this past year has been rough, but I feel like the people love to be outside, they feel safe outside, and I enjoy it too. So
awesome. Well, Jess, thank you so much for your time. This has been a true pleasure.
Yeah, thank you, CapeSpace.
Yes, and thank you all for watching. We'll see you next time. Bye.